Red Dead Redemption 2, a game I really need to rant about. Now I know what you're thinking. How can I have anything negative to say about a game that got so many perfect scores? 245 to be exact. But not only do I have a lot of things I disliked about this game, this is a game I will probably never go back and touch again. When I finished the main campaign, which is about 40 plus hours if you only do the main missions, I was relieved to take it out of my Xbox. Really, the only reason why I did finish the main campaign was because I got so many perfect scores and because I wanted to see if my opinion would change by the end. But unfortunately, it did not. The last two chapters in the campaign, which are epilogues, just really solidified my opinion and made me even think worse about the game. My opinion may not be very popular. I'm gonna be very harsh on Red Dead Redemption 2, but it is what it is. This game was just not for me. Firstly, what I did like. The graphics were amazing and the presentation was amazing. Every little detail in the world you could see that Rockstar thought about and took care of graphically and made it look good. But those are really the only two things from Red Dead Redemption 2 that had me going, wow. And for a game that got so many perfect scores, that just doesn't make sense to me. Now I played the main campaign only. I did a little bit of the side stuff, but not too much. But I mean, the main campaign in a story-driven game like this is the most important thing in my opinion. As I was playing through, I was hoping more and more that the game would pick up, but it just really didn't. There was probably about 3 to 5 missions that I can really remember out of how many missions there are in this game, which is a ton, that really have me getting excited and made me feel like, wow, this game is a really amazing game. The majority of the game to me was extremely boring, a game that was tough for me to get through and would leave me frustrated because I just wanted to get to one point to the end and get through it because I was finished with it. The sequence of missions is pretty much the exact same. You start off by talking to somebody, you get on your horse, you go for a long ride listening to a story that really at the end of the day, if you're not invested in it fully, you don't care about, and then you get into a shootout. The rest of the missions that were different than that were pretty much just like a simulation. You would go up to something and it would say, press A to do this, and then you would do the action. And that really was it. There was no skill, no real gameplay involved other than just pressing a button. This game to me seemed more like a simulation and a movie than a video game. And on top of that, I have to say, the final mission of chapter 6, when you get there, really is good. It is probably the only mission besides a few others that really stuck in my brain for a long time. It is an awesome mission. So I was kind of happy to end it on that note, but then they give you 2 epilogues. And those 2 epilogues were terrible. They were so boring. There was so much to do in those epilogues that really was just makes you want to fall asleep. And it was just terrible in my opinion. My overall opinion of the fun factor of this game may have swayed a little bit if they would have ended it on chapter 6, but nope, they did those 2 epilogues and that just was the end of the game for me. I was so happy to be finished with it and to take it out of my Xbox. Now this leads me into questioning, how did this game get so many 10 out of 10 perfect scores? One of the big complaints that I see that other big games get that stop it from getting either a perfect score or a really high score is mission variety. A lot of these big reviewers, when they come out with the reviews for certain games, say that the game is repetitive and the missions are all the same, even though doing the actions in those missions have a lot of different gameplay elements and that it's actually fun. So clearly, if a game's getting a bunch of perfect scores, this isn't something that the reviewers are saying is negative with it. Because a game that lacks mission variety and is repetitive obviously isn't a perfect 10 out of 10. Now besides the extreme boringness of this game and the lack of mission variety, the controls I found were absolutely terrible. For a game that makes you ride on horses for so long and for so much of the game, the horse riding mechanics I felt were very poor. If you have a game like Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Assassin's Creed Origins, and you have Red Dead Redemption 2, and you try to understand what I mean about the horse riding mechanics being bad, go ride a horse in the Assassin's Creed games, then come back to Red Dead Redemption 2, and I'm sure you'll see what I mean. The actual controls of when you're controlling your character not on a horse are very clunky, very laggy, and I know that this is kind of how Rockstar does their games with their controls, but I just absolutely hated it. I thought it was terrible. The only really good controls that I found in this game were actually the gunplay. It was pretty intuitive and pretty fun. But like I said, to have one really good mechanic and a lot of mediocre or subpar mechanics in your control system, for a perfect score, you can't be having that. Now this leads me to my last point into why I think this game got so many perfect scores. And it's because of the state of gaming that I think we're in today. A lot of games come out and they're pretty much just movies. They have great graphics, they have great presentation, and they have okay gameplay mechanics. But because they have a somewhat interesting story where it looks really good. There's great facial animations and little things like that. I find that games like that get elevated review scores, and I don't understand why. We're in an age where the bling and the shininess of games counts more than the actual gameplay, which to me kind of sucks to think about, because there's no way in my mind that Red Dead Redemption 2 deserved a perfect score. Even if they worked on the game for 8 years and there was so much anticipation and hype for it, they still need to be reviewed on terms of gameplay. Is it fun? Are the missions a good time? Are there good gameplay mechanics? And not just, is it shiny? Does it have good graphics? Does it have good presentation? And are the cutscenes amazing? Anyways, that's just the way I see it. I could be completely off base, and I may be the only one with this opinion, but I really find it hard to believe that I'm the only one that disliked this game so much. So let me know in the comments below what you thought about Red Dead Redemption 2 and if you agree or disagree with any of my points. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. Like I said, leave a comment down below about what you thought about the game. If you dislike this video, hit that thumbs down. If you love Red Dead Redemption 2 and you think I'm an idiot, hit that thumbs down, and I'll catch you in the next video.